Alrighty then. Well, I recently went to the movie theater with my family to go see Jurassic World. Was it called New Revolution? New Resolutions? Jurassic World Rebirth. That's the one. And you know what? I gotta say that I have very, very mixed opinions about this movie. Because although sometimes movie theater movies are much, much better than, just seeing a movie in the comforts of your own home and, being able to assess it more greatly. Movie theater movies sometimes are big and impressive, and some movies really capture that edge. And for that reason, I gotta admit, Jurassic World Rebirth is a great movie to go to the family with, just to see in the spectacle of the theater. Get some popcorn, get some chips, get some, snacks or whatever, and it's just a popcorn flick in its entirety. But as a dinosaur obsessed person, oh boy, do I ever have major criticisms of the movie. And you know what? The many, many different points to feel about these things. This is obviously a franchise they can milk to hell. This is obviously a franchise that they can just keep making out different movies and people will just keep seeing them. Why? Because dinosaurs are frigging awesome, and you add enough of the science aspect of it, and you get a little bit of jungle terrain in the uh, view. It's beautiful, it's a spectacle, and it's a formula that obviously just works. But this movie has some extreme criticisms from me, so let's get that started right now. Yeah, I mean, that Gen Z shithead kids plot was absolutely annoying. I hated the boyfriend character. I hated the unnecessary family. The daughter was annoying. The little girl was okay, I guess. She got the little serrata or whatever. That's adorable. That works, okay. But the Gen Z shithead kids, the boyfriend and girlfriend was annoying. I hated them. They were so annoying, and that boyfriend guy was just off, abhorrently off. There's even a period of time when he makes a quip about having some weed, which just made me absolutely uh, uh, rile in cringe. It was absolutely horrible, and that totally ruined every scene they were in. Despite the fact that they even seemed to play on the fact that he was annoying and people wanted to get rid of him, because there's literally a scene when a raptor is about to eat him and it gets stopped by another dinosaur, and then they're almost gotten by the T-Rex, and it just keeps going and going. So I fucking hated those two. There were some incredibly predictable scenes in this movie. And you're kind of like asking for it with a movie like this, but I mean, dear God, you got the asshole, you know, uh, white dude, who's, super overachiever guy who dies right at the beginning via the Spinosaurus, and you just have to say, like, oh, we know what they were getting at with that one. So amazingly predictable scenes. Scarlett Johansson was just like the alpha best. She's always winning. She can get the dinosaurs. She can escape all the danger, and you knew that she had just unlimited plot armor. It was truly annoying, just like the family. You knew that family had infinite plot armor, especially in the scene when the T-Rex was just like running after them forever and trying to get to them. So I mean, it was incredibly predictable, and no more scene was more predictable and annoying than the fact when the guy put the when the guy put the briefcase on the handcuffs to his arm. You knew that arm was coming off, and lo and behold, that arm came off. It was so predictable that you just it was completely annoying. And yeah, I don't know. It was just something that it's like, yeah, you're gonna go into this movie thinking it was exactly what it was. It was exactly the same as the trailer, and everything. It was like you could have just watched the trailer. So mega predictable scenes here. Jurassic Park at its heart is about you know, genetic engineering and such, and bringing back the dinosaurs. It was really good in the earlier movies when there were just real dinosaurs. You know, you had just the classics, and they even touched on different dinosaurs in future iterations, Jurassic World as well. But they really, really went into this mutant dinosaurs. You know, Indominus Rex, gene splicing. You know, doing all this stuff. And at this point, it's like they overplayed it. And in this movie, it's even worse, as the Demon Rex, D-Rex, is just ridiculous looking. I could not help but think that that thing didn't even look scary and intimidating. It didn't even look like a dinosaur. Maybe that was the point. But in my opinion, at this point, the mutant dinosaur thing is so overplayed, and in this, it would have been. It was nice that they added some just traditional dinosaurs, the Quetzalcoatlus, the Cerata. They did some dinos that are just dinosaurs, and they tried to do an okay enough representation of them. Although some of the dinosaurs looked very very over embellished. It would have been nicer just to get a lot more natural dinos. And the hilarious thing about that Serato that the kid had, the cute little, like joyous little toy dinosaur that, they could sell plushies of. You really thought that that thing was going to save them at one point, and they kind of almost played with that idea. But yeah, truly, that little dinosaur did nothing besides just fan favor. It would have been a neat side part to have it so that yeah, that dinosaur like barked at a bigger one, and or like I thought it would be hilarious if it like ran off, a dinosaur chased it and ate it and allowed the family escape, like sacrificing itself. But we never get any of that. The dinosaur is virtually useless besides being a baby Yoda type creature. And yeah, another very predictable thing that it was just there for fan service. But at the same time, it would have been nice to see that little baby dinosaur have like saved them or something. It would have been touching, and they just didn't even go there. But I mean, despite all these criticisms, this is a sci-fi movie, and I'm a sci-fi junkie, and I love dinosaurs more than anything. So I mean, this is territory of not incredibly bad, but not absolutely terrible. It's just a movie. Um, it's like one of those movies that you would seriously watch on the science channel or something. If it was just on, it's just a lot of fan service. It's a lot of member berries. It's just a truly generic Jurassic Park world movie, and we've seen this before in the other ones. To a T, pretty much all of them are like this. But and I don't mind the Jurassic World series, but like you couldn't have gotten a more generic Jurassic World movie if you had tried, and it's just like literally just Jurassic World the movie 3 or 4. There's no other way to describe it really. We move past a time of the common occurrence of wokeness and political tropes in movies, and while there certainly wasn't the most egregious examples in this movie, there were a lot of political tropes. For example, the white business dude, CEO guy, was evil by default. Even though he was in a survival situation, it's just like he's looking out for himself. And of course, the black dudes and women are the honorable ones. So many political tropes there. The Gen Z kids, of maybe potentially South American ethnicities, and the diversity and equity inclusion was definitely all there. Although I really enjoyed Mahershala Ali's performance. Like, let's be honest. Like, I'm no fan of wokeness. I'm no fan of inserting characters. You gotta admit, the guy was kind of likable in the movie, and it was kind of awesome to see him, be a good dude and do everything. But it's still there. It's still eye rolling. The white nerdy dude was just an idiot who was begging for Scarlett Johansson's attention at all times. And although there certainly wasn't the most incredibly egregious situations of wokeness and political stereotyping, it was certainly in the movie, and you could smell it from a mile away when you saw that CEO guy. Just at first he was kind of just a character, and you're like, oh yeah, huh, this guy, and then he just becomes the most evil mofo that everyone hates, and he's only in it for himself. And Mahershala Ali is the good one, good natured, good hearted. So yeah, I mean, Mahershala Ali's Duncan was a good character. I kind of liked him. I smirked a couple times. He looked good. He looked fit. He had a cool outfit. It would have been nicer to see him doing more like fighting dinosaurs, because he really kind of just sat around in the sidelines most of the time. And it was hilarious at the end. He's like got the flare, trying to lead the demon Rex away from the family, and it's obviously chasing the flare. It's like, just throw the fucking flare. It's like he's got to use the flare to like save, to like, it's got to be me who sacrifices himself for the kids. And then of course another completely and utterly predictable trope. He survives at the end, and he comes and he saves everyone. So I mean, not horrible political messaging, but it was in there. The Jurassic World movies will probably go on forever. Maybe they'll do Jurassic Park 4 or something one day and just kind of do that. But I like the game Jurassic World Evolution. I think 1 and 2, third one's coming out. They're great series. It's a fair enough place when they just kind of go out overboard with the genetic things. And this movie tries to make series movements on it. It's kind of describing that dinosaurs can only exist in a certain portion of the world. Well, it's like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. What do you think, that we're going to live in Canada in like below minus 30? T-Rexes were going to survive up there? The world was completely different at the time that they were around. And it seems to try and think about things about, like, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, bacteria in the soil wasn't right and stuff. It tries to make a statement that dinosaurs are kind of dead, but realistically speaking, in the first movie, what it was, that only like you only thought there was like 1 or 2 islands of them. But it touches on that the dinosaurs kind of all around the world. They haven't been very successful, and it's like, yeah, no shit. Of course, they were gonna only survive in like the equator zones. So it really doesn't do anything to move the story forward. The genetic thing, Indominus is pretty much the same shit as the Demon Rex. It's like the movie does nothing to move the series forward, and they could literally just come out with another Jurassic World movie tomorrow about anything, and it would just be like, it's like the same world. People are not that interested in dinos. Like, dinosaurs are dangerous. Genetic engineering is bad. Like, this is all the same exact shit that we've seen hundreds of times in these series, and it does nothing to move it forward. Despite all my criticisms, despite the fact that it really doesn't do anything, despite the fact that it's very cringeworthy and eye-rolling at parts, it really has a theme park ride to it, feel, and it's almost like you're on a roller coaster. First you're like fighting mosasaurs in the ocean, and then like surviving through the jungle. So I mean, to its credit, it has a kind of a ride feel to it, and it's a good movie to see in the theaters. And it's probably a good movie to overwatch in a couple years, or whenever you decide to do a Jurassic Park run, just because it's just a constant motion film. You're always going towards the end of the movie, and yeah, it has decent adventure feel to it. So I mean, this movie cannot be described any more than a 6.5 out of 10 for me. It just exists. It's certainly not worthy anywhere close of any Oscars, but it's not like the worst goddamn movie ever. It's no Ironheart, or like, it's no any other of the awful media that we've seen. It's not a cringy ass superhero movie. It's not a boring rehash of a superhero brought back. It's just literally another Jurassic World movie. like that's all it is. It realistically speaking is just like the most predictable generic movie. It's almost as like you asked ChatGTP for another Jurassic World movie and this is the result. So yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's a movie I absolutely love, but I wouldn't say it's a movie I hated with a burning passion. And for that, in modern cinema, to see at the theaters with your family, and most people who don't give a shit about dinosaurs and their proper appearances and theoretical looks and scales, it's an okay enough dinosaur movie, and we don't get enough movies with dinosaurs. And you know what? You could do a lot worse. And Jurassic World Rebirth, just just a film. It's just a film that exists. And if you want to go to theaters, there's probably hundreds of worse examples to go see. It's a wild romp. It's got dinos in it, which if you're a dinosaur obsessed freak like me, it just it's just there. And Jurassic World Rebirth, I commend you for not being truly awful. And in today's world, that's something to be said.
Survival is a long shot.